Cheers! Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the August Faves and Fails. As many of you guys know, this month has been kind of long and a little makeup light, I feel like, from subscription boxes and a few things that I've kind of been unraveling this month. So I thought this Faves and Fails, I'm only going to be talking about, well, 98% of it is just makeup, because I feel like we need a little bit more makeup in our lives here on my channel, because it's been a lot of skincare with subscription boxes and, you know, trying to do updates with reviews. So I am so excited to let you guys know some things that I have been loving this month for makeup. And yes, we're talking some brand new stuff that's not from Boxy, stuff that I've been purchasing on my own. Makeup I've also been revisiting, and I've noticed in the comments you guys are like, oh, do you still like this powder? Oh, how do you still feel about this? So that's even giving me ideas to maybe do another video that's like, yes, makeup I'm still using or makeup I'm not using anymore. You know, just keeping the makeup content coming here on my channel. And some updates as summer has progressed, because now we're at the end of August when I'm filming this, but it will be September, the beginning of when you see this. So it's still really hot where I live, and I know a lot of you are showing me like on your Instagrams and stuff how hot it is where you live. So we're still in the summer heat. What are makeup pieces that I am still using in these hot time frames of the year? So let's just grab our glasses of whatever you are having. Tell me below what you're having, because we are about to get really into it. Grab your tea, grab your snack, grab your water, get comfy, because we are about to dive into all of this goodness together. Cheers! I had to say like 98% because there is something that I did just get from Boxycharm, and you guys were like, okay, I'm gonna need an update on this, because this is one of those weird products that you're like, girl, explain this to me. How does this work? I'm here to tell you. I think I like booty drops on my face, on my neck, on the upper region of my body. We're gonna get into it. In one of my last Boxycharm videos, I told you guys I got one really high-end product, one that's not too high-end but sounds really intriguing, and I've been using them together since I received them this month, and I really like the results I am getting on my skin. This smiley face baby is the Sommerville Exfolikate Glow for $70. Look at her smiley face. You better be smiling if you want me to spend $70 on you. Like, that's nuts. This is something that has AHAs in it. Try saying that 10 times fast. I cannot. So it will make your skin a little sensitive to the sun. So SPF, SPF, SPF all day long. I actually have already dipped quite a bit into this product, as you can see. And that's because I have been using this with about 2 to 3 drops of the Frank Body Booty Drops. These are $17.95 and something I got from Boxycharm together. What I've been doing is just pulling out a little bit on my finger, and it is a thicker product. So for as much as we're getting in this tiny little thing for 70 bucks, whew, golly, it's like, that's really expensive. I've been putting a few drops of this into just a little fingerful of this product, and I've been using it directly here on the neck and on that chin area, neck, chin, chest area here, as ladies, where we're trying to keep this area looking as youthful and bright and crease free as we do our faces, because we want this to match. That tends to be where we've noticed you can really tell a person's, you know, maybe age or how well they take care of their skin, less by their face and more by their like body parts that are a little more sensitive than people kind of keep in mind when they're doing their exfoliating and taking care of business when it comes to skincare. I've been doing that since I got this. I was going to say for maybe a week or so, but I guess even a little bit longer by the time this video goes up, and I'm noticing a tightening in this area. Now, the reason I think that is because these booty drops have caffeine in them, so it gives a little bit of a plumping effect to the skin. And I still think the packaging is hysterical. I know some people in the reviews were very turned off by the drop it like you're hot and conversation on the packaging about doing more twerking and dance moves with it. I just think it's hysterical. I have definitely noticed with this that it's really plumping and helping the creasing in these areas for my skin type. Now, I've been using it with this particular exfoliating moisturizer because I've been wanting to try this a little bit, but I also know putting that on my face as an oily skin girl with big pores in the hot, humid Florida weather, probably not the best idea. So I've been transitioning it down here, and I'm loving the results of this little combo. I've only had it a few weeks, so I kind of wanted to give you this quick little update in the beginning of this because that's what I've been trying behind the scenes. It still does really smell like coffee though, so that's why I only do 2 to 3 drops. But when you mix it with a moisturizer, it really cuts down on the scent, and then you don't smell it on your body either. The foundation combination that has just been so perfect for my skin is a duo of 2 things that I have been loving. They won't be a surprise to you separately, but I don't know if I've told you guys, I have been using this in combination, and I think this time of year for me works amazing as this combo. You know I love my girl Natasha Denona Transformatte Pore Vanishing Foundation. The shade I love is in 40N Light Medium Neutral. This is normally like a $45 foundation, but on the Sephora website for weeks now it's been $22.50, so I will be linking that below for you. I know this is not everyone's favorite. I'll be honest, this doesn't work for all skin types. It works great for mine, for filling my pores, making my skin and my base skin look amazing, but you can still see freckles through it, so it's still a more natural look, even though you hear the word matte in there. But I still lately have been loving to combine this with my newer shade of the Pure 4-in-1 Tinted Moisturizer. This one here is in the shade MN3. It's $35 at Ulta, and I have it in my Amazon links as well. I know I have mentioned these kind of recently. However, the combination of these two is really what is making my skin look great. My base foundation is so set up for success, and I'm going to tell you, I have put this combo through the ringer. I was thinking because this was a moisturizer that I've been using as a foundation, I thought I really couldn't do some of the things that I lean into with my other trusted foundations. For example, this morning I took my dogs out on a 30-minute walk, and I had done it out of order. So normally what I try to do is take my doggies out after I've done some skincare, SPFs, then come back, let my skin cool, and do the base makeup, you know? But today, it's a crazy day for me. It got a little out of order, and I had these on, powdered down, took the dogs out on a 30-minute walk, and nothing was creasing, nothing was cracking, nothing was overly shiny. Everything still looked great that I could move on with my makeup. And to me, that tells you that this moisturizer is still something that can work really great for oily skin. Even in these hot summer days, it was probably in the mid to high 80s at the time. And maybe this had supported that from, you know, doing any extra shine or falling off my face or making it look like I melted like an ice cream cone in the sun. None of that happened. And today's makeup is still looking so nice. These are the 2 things that I have been loving in these hot weather months. Something that I saw recently, somebody was asking me, because as we know, it's officially September. This is when Becca is going to be, I don't even want to say it because I love so many products from Becca. Whew, I might need a sip for this, but we know we can still find some of it, you know, in TJ Maxx's and Marshall's and things like that. But somebody had just recently asked me, and I had been pulling it out actually quite a bit, and I haven't mentioned it in a while, is the Becca Soft Light Blurring Powder. This one here is in the shade Pink Haze. You can see it through the container here on the side. I think this is amazing to really even out a complexion. Today in particular, I had gone a little too harsh on the blush. I've been kind of trying some different blush techniques behind the scenes, and this morning it was just a little too much of that sunburnt look, and I don't really care for that too much. So I went in with this baby to really just even it all out, make everything still look nice and seamless, and then just kind of like take down the power that was the blush. This worked so great for it. I just think this is a powder that works for a lot of different skin types. And I've heard there's a couple of like dupe-ish products out there. So if you have some that you know of, let us know below, because I do have one other shade of this. And if I can find another one of the Pink Haze shades in like a TJ Maxx or a Marshall's, definitely going to be picking it up. I do have it currently in my Amazon links for you guys down below for $30. So if this is something that you still want to get your hands on before maybe you can't, I do have it linked for you down there. I just think this powder is so darn good. I talked about this a lot, I believe, about this time last year too, before we knew Becca was going to be leaving. Hold on, I need a sip. This is just making me sad to think about. Green tea, by the way, today. Green tea with honey. I'm just so heartbroken that Becca's leaving because there's so many standout products that I didn't even realize I relied on as much as I do, and now it's September. The month that it's actually happening. I'm just hoping for some kind of miracle, I guess, but if you still can't get your hands on this, to answer your question, yes, I still use this. I still really enjoy it, and I'm getting down. You can't really tell through the sifter, but I'm getting down there because I have used this quite a bit, but it lasts a long time. The powder is very fine, so it doesn't look pink on your skin. Oh, actually, do you want a Boxycharm Spoiler? If you don't, fast forward like maybe a minute. But if you want a Boxycharm Spoiler, I recently got to choose some items in my choice section, and I'm pretty positive I chose a powder that I thought might be a dupe for this from, is it from Fenty? What brand is it from? Let me do a quick email check. I know we've been complaining a lot about Boxycharm not giving us enough makeup, but I do see some more makeup on the horizon with Boxycharm. I've been doing my choice choosings and things like that, and there was a choice item. Now I get all 3 boxes, so I think this may have been in a premium box where we're getting another high-end loose powder, and I saw that they had one in this shade, this nice pink shade here, this hazy pink shade as they call it with Becca. So I am going to be doing like a little bit of a test between seeing which powder is better. I think the powder is a Lorac powder. I'm pretty sure, a loose powder. And I'm going to try it against this Becca. So don't totally hold out on Boxy yet. I know a lot of people have been frustrated with them and kind of like, where's all the makeup? I'm seeing a lot more makeup coming through because I do have a tendency to see spoilers a little early on from accounts I follow. Sometimes we see them in surveys with Boxycharm, kind of give you an idea of maybe what's down the pike. So just letting you know, I'm going to be testing something against this very, very soon from Boxy. That is makeup. Hallelujah. Now, I must tell you, there are going to be some fails in this video, but there's not a lot. And I love that because I really have been loving a lot of the things that I've either personally been bringing in from my own personal shopping at the drugstore or at Ulta. And I am revisiting some loves this month that are trustworthy. As far as some more face powders go though, as far as face feature products, I'm going to talk for a really quick second about a new bronzer that I got from Boxycharm, which could be one of 3 because we got a lot of bronzers recently. Very recently, and a blush that I've had for a while. The bronzer that actually stood out to me out of the long trio of bronzers that I actually did get this past month shocked me because I was ready to really displace this, really kind of just like count it out as something that wasn't going to work for me, and I don't know why. I think visually I just thought maybe it was going to be too big and in the way, and I just thought the formula wasn't going to be good, and I don't know why. But this iconic London Ultimate Bronzing Powder in the shade Light Bronze clearly already has a logo missing from the amount of times I've dipped my brush into this product. This is a $35 bronzer from Iconic London, and I tend to get those names confused because there's a lot of Londons out there just roaming the internets. And I just really didn't think this was going to be great. I think visually it kind of looks like an Essence bronzer I tried a long time ago, which is not a high-end brand, but it's still a brand I love and trust, and I just didn't love that bronzer. And I think visually I was, thinking it kind of looked like that, so maybe in my head I was just like, nah, you haven't been in love with Iconic London. And it looks like something else. I actually really like this. I think the color is a perfect match for my skin. I also think it really layers well on itself. Some bronzers, when you try to layer them, it starts to look muddy or it starts to really move on the face, doesn't lay well. This does a really nice job. I've used this even for just like starting an eye look in the crease, put it on the face, used it on the body a little bit. I've not been disappointed. It also has a really nice mirror in it, and it's a decent size mirror, so when you're needing to do maybe an eye look right after like a bronzing face thing, you're good to go. I was really ready to just kind of like count this one out, but it's really standing out to me is the bronzer that my hand keeps going for in the mornings, and I'm pretty sure this was actually a winner in my recent Boxycharm Would You Rather video. So if you missed that, I'm gonna link it above for you. That was a fun little game that I did, that it's part of a series I've had on my channel that I'm kind of reviving. Something else that I don't know if I've talked about this in a long time, but is a blush. I call it a blush duo, I'll be honest. I think it's actually called a color and light pressed palette, mini palette duo, because one of them's supposed to be a highlighter, and that's what distracted me, I feel like a year ago when I got this. I think I got this from a Boxy Luxe, maybe? Boxycharm? I don't think this is from my Ipsy days. You'll remember. I think this is a Boxycharm product though. This is the Kosas Blush Duo. It's a color and light duo. Then Papaya 1972. This is not a highlighter to me. To me, this is just like a very pale blush. I don't know why they call this a highlighter, because I think that's what stuck me last year when I was trying this. It just kind of frustrated me. But this shade, and sometimes this shade mixed with this shade, is gorgeous on like the high apples of my cheeks, and then I pull it back. Depending on the product is really how it depends where I put it on my face. This one I feel like I can be a little bit more generous with and put it right up front on the apples of my cheeks and then kind of pull it back a bit, because it's not overwhelming. It's also this like sheery matte shade, so it doesn't have too much luminosity, but it's also not, it doesn't feel like it's a total matte product. So I feel like it really moves with the skin and the other types of makeup I enjoy using as well. This has been a blush that I have been reaching for quite a bit in August, and I think it's because I do tend to gravitate more towards bronzers, especially in the summer, because it seems to be a little bit more of a natural look. But these matte blushes really complement but not overwhelm the face. I've never been into that really bold blush look, as many of you guys know, and if blush ever gets too bold, that is when I love to jump into this Becca powder and just kind of come back over with a brush to really diffuse it all out. It does a great job of just kind of like evening the skin back out. This is my secret tip for that. But this has been the blush that I keep going for, and I think I'm going to be enjoying this for quite a long time, because there's a lot of product in here, and since I do have a lighter hand with blush, it seems to be lasting a really long time. Okay, so now I have to talk to you about the brows. I have been trying some new products behind the scenes, and I even have a few more brow kits that I'm going to be trying in the upcoming weeks. So stay tuned. If you are a babe that needs some help with your brows, if you want to know more about some brow products, I'm going to have so much for that for you upcoming. But right now I gotta talk to you about something that I've tried before, and now I got it in a new shade and I love, and then there's just one that you're gonna have so much pan porn on this that you're just gonna go, how did you hit so much pan on a brow palette? How? You only have 2 brows. How? I'm gonna tell you. She's a little bit messy, so I'm kicking off any dust that may happen for me, but I still swear by this small palette that I got from a Boxycharm a while back, but now I do work with the brand from time to time, and it's Brow Bar by Reema. This is the one though, this is not gifted or sponsored, this is the one that I've had from Boxycharm. Is it over a year now? Year and a half now? This is my Brow Bar by Reema True Glam Brow Makeover Kit in the shade Dark. Do you see all the pan on this, and now there's pan in this black section here? Oh, it is so true. This has been my go-to palette for a lot of the summer, I guess, but mostly in August, really. What I love about these powders is, yeah, they're kind of loose, so you gotta be careful. They're a little messy. I don't love that part of it, but I love the pigmentation. It's just like with a shadow. It's got some fallout and kickoff to it. Usually means it's gonna be pretty pigmented and it's going to last. It's hot here. It's hot everywhere. It's summer, and my face is oily, and I tend to be a face toucher, but I don't have to worry about my brows smearing or kind of starting to get dull through the day with these powders. They're so pigmented. My brows are also much darker now than they were, you know, like 2 years ago, because my hair is much darker, so now I match my brows to the darker hair color, and these 2 shades combined work great for me. But also, I have learned if I want to take a more precise face brush, I even like it with a little bit more of longer bristles to it too, dip my brush into these 2, mix them up, kick it off, and then when I'm in between hair sessions to get my roots done, and if I need a little touch up right up front, it is perfect for a touch-up because I'm already using it for my brows. Clearly the color range is working for me. So then I just start putting it up in the part, maybe where I've got some other colors popping through. Because when you have darker hair and sometimes, you know, different shades of color of your hair, it can really, tell people when you haven't been to the salon because you're in between sessions. So it has been a really nice hair saver, honestly, as well, to just use a nice brush and dip into these. That's how I think I hit more pan on the black shade, because it takes me a while to use the combination of brown and black on the brows. But when I was starting to go in here, even on that hairline, just right up front, I love that it is so easy to use. It doesn't fall all over your face. It lasts like multiple days. I'll be honest, like there have been days that I was like, I wash my hair maybe 2-3 times a week, kind of depending on what's going on and if I've been working out or not. So I can say that if I use something one day, if I use this like on a Monday to like touch up some roots, I'm still pretty covered on a Tuesday. I'm just saying. And no, none of it is falling out on my pillowcase because I sleep differently. I sleep like on my back or on the side, and it's all up here on my forehead and stuff, and I don't sleep on my face. You shouldn't sleep on your face anyway. Works great for the hair and for the brows. I'm just saying. And a new product that they just sent me, this one is gifted to me, is their microblade pen in the shade dark brown. This is awesome for filling the brows, doing that microblading look, because you have these like easy strokes to you and it looks so natural in the brows. It's really, really nice. And it's also super fast. It has made my brow game super quick in the mornings because I'll do just a little bit of pencil, go in with this, and I don't even need a powder some days, kind of depending on how dark I want to make them. I just got this because I've tried this in a lighter shade and it did pretty good, but I'm loving this darker shade because it goes with the darker hair and it just fills them in so much more. It makes the brows look so much richer. That's the issue when you kind of come on camera. In person, your brows can look great, but when the sun comes through with natural light, or if you do any color editing, that's when things get a little bit more paler or more gray toned on the brows, when in real life they're not that way. So I'm loving using this because it's definitely helping that deep, rich brown shade, but then the strokes look so natural that it just kind of flows with the brow. It adds in those little bit of a wispy hair-like looks without doing much work at all. There is something else that I am trying, but I only got to try this drugstore palette that I've really had my eye on for a while, for a couple, did I try this a couple of times now? I think I have. Mostly for just a light contour, but because it is so darn hot out, I'm really excited to pull this out more this fall. So stay tuned, and if you have tried this before, give me some tips below. But this is the e.l.f. Cream Contour Palette for $8. The way that I've actually enjoyed using this so far is that Scott Barnes technique that I know Tati has talked about before, where you get a brush, kind of go in, do a little bit of light contouring before you put on your foundations and concealers and things like that, because then it's just more of a natural shadow look. I've tried that, I think, only once, maybe twice. Small amount of times, because it is really hot, and layering with creams always has an oily skinned girl worried, and I got some big pores. So I'm really excited to play with this some more in the upcoming weeks as things start to cool down. Maybe it's Florida. It probably won't be cooled down for a while, but I do have this on my radar to play with some more. But if you do like to use cream contours, let a girl know all of your tips, because I am going to be using this to try them. I may have gone eyeshadow palette shopping. I did it in the beginning of August, and I did it again like more towards the middle end of August, and I wasn't even thinking of the palettes that maybe I had already purchased and which ones were speaking to me, because, you know, I keep things on my radar for a while before I go out and purchase, or I'll put things in my wish lists on each, like on Ulta, on ColourPop, on the drugstore, on Amazon, wherever, and I'll just think about things for a while. Add to cart. Forget about the cart. Add more things back to the cart. Same things usually. And I go through this vicious cycle until finally either I buy something or I don't. And something I have learned about myself through this channel, and something you guys have learned about me, is I have a type. When I am in the zone on something, apparently I just keep hitting that home and get the same thing in different shades. I just do. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, you will when you visually see what I bought. In the beginning of August, I wanted to try some more drugstore eyeshadow palettes. I have heard some amazing things about the new e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadow palettes, so I really wanted to test them for you guys and see if they're worth your money. Now, the awesome news is all my babes on a budget, these are really good. They're only $3. I want to say they were $4 at my actual drugstore though. Maybe I'm wrong, but everywhere I'm looking online it says $3. This right here is the e.l.f. bite-sized cream and sugar palette for $3. You can see here she is a neutral lover's dream, and I have used her just for full looks in August, and I think she has done a great job. But because I do like to mix and match my neutral and warm tones, I also purchased the e.l.f. bite-sized Carnival Candy. It says for $3 here in my links for you guys down below. I loved combining these two because then I could use some of the more lighter shades and then deepen up my crease and outer corner with those richer hues you can see on the bottom there. And I could say they do have some kickback to them, but just like any other eyeshadows, that usually means they're pretty pigmented, they blended well. I've heard so many of my favorite YouTubers talk about these, and I was finally like, you know what, Nicole, go try them. I think these are really great. The shimmers on these are great, and the mattes are actually really great. Some of them just apply like butter too. Like I'm just doing a light swatching here for you with nothing else underneath, and that was just so easily smoothed on. I've not played with this blue yet though. Let's see how the blue does. Oh wow, she builds up well and fast. This is just one. I haven't gone back into the pan. That's pretty nice. For a $3 palette? For some reason, I want to say at my drugstore, I paid $4 for them and was surprised by it, but everything I'm seeing online is $3. Maybe I'm wrong. This one here is the Carnival Candy palette. Pretty impressive. Because if you're a babe on a budget, if you're going back to school, if you're a mom, if you just want to mix up your eye looks and you're just wanting something different, these are really quality. You know I can't end a video without being completely swatched up too, right? These shimmers are really nice too. I wasn't sure how I would feel about them, but look at that. That's beautiful. Swatching with your pinky. I'm trying to show the camera. YouTuber struggles. Okay, I could have done it better, but you get the point. I have used these quite a bit. I liked to use them together, mostly because apparently I have a type, and these neutral shades go beautifully together. Then I could do a pop of color if I needed to. Everything in here has created such gorgeous looks that have lasted all day for me. Okay, now you know these color stories, right? And you're like, okay, you got those in the beginning of August. Awesome. $6, $8 total, whatever it was. Then, some of you guys know if you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, just so you know, you can follow me right here, and you can always see some stuff I'm doing behind the scenes for upcoming videos, makeup I'm trying, things that may be coming down the pike for you. Then I went to Ulta, and they haven't had a lot of stuff in my Ulta. The cupboards had been bare for a while, and then they all restocked, and I was like, dang it! I've been looking at a couple of these palettes that are really inexpensive from ColourPop, and a few of you guys did guess correctly when I was showing you just some quick swatches, just to kind of like get your appetite wet for what I might be showing you guys in the future. Some of you were like, I know that palette, I love that! I picked up 2 ColourPop palettes and a Super Shock. Didn't I just say not that long ago? I like Super Shocks, but I feel like I forget about them, and then I saw this one and I was like, oh my gosh, so pretty. I need you, get in the basket. So I did purchase the High Tide palette and the Nude Mood palette. I'm always looking at like the Going Coconuts palette and a few other ones that I've heard are really, really high quality, that people love, that they're staples in most people's collections. And they didn't have that one on display, or I may have picked that one up, but they did have the Nude Mood, which is something that I've not stopped using since I picked this up. These have so many nice neutral yet slightly warm toned shades to them. I am obsessed. I'm definitely gonna have to do some swatching for you. And I also picked up the High Tide palette. Now this is the palette, I cannot lie to you, I have talked myself out of, I don't know, 5-6 times as I've put it in my cart, taken it back out of my cart over and over again in that song and dance we do to ourselves. And I'm like, it's $14. Just, come on, woman. But touching it and seeing it in the store, that's what did me in. I was even concerned. I was like, do I technically already have these shades, either of these shades, in any of my other ColourPop palettes? Because you guys know clearly I have a type. The Mar palette is something that I got, I don't know, 2019, 2018, and she looks similar, but I felt pretty relieved that when I got home and started combining them with each other, not exact dupes. They're not. They could complement each other. I could use the Nude Mood or the High Tide with the Mar palette, but they're not the same. They're not. And if Adam asks, you tell him they're not. Come on, we're friends. Don't rat me out. Also, I did compare her to the Child palette as well. And look at that. These are all different shades in tone. So really, we needed to add her to the collection because this is so pretty. It gives me all the mermaid vibes, and I'm a mermaid no matter what time of year it is. I don't care, we're almost to fall. I'm still a mermaid, but I have a type. It's fine. And these are the two palettes I cannot stop playing with. I have mostly this on my eyes today, along with, because I did want to compare a little bit of the Bite Size e.l.f. palette to compare formulas this morning. And I'm going to tell you, if you weren't sure how this was going to perform because it's e.l.f., it's drugstore, I think it is pretty comparable to the formula because I did do one eye in their very creamy shade and then one eye in this very creamy shade, and they covered just as well with each other. There was no creasing on either eye. I thought that they were very comparable. I have the gorgeous shade Currants, that's that top center shade, on my lower lashes down there. Not the liner that's on my waterline, but underneath it. And I didn't have this liner in there yesterday. I just had a little bit underneath from this palette. And it just gives you that extra pop on a neutral look, because a lot of us have been gravitating to all of these neutral shades, but they're all like different shades of beige and taupe and all these things. Whatever, we can look like the DMV on our faces if we want to. I think this has done a beautiful job, and this complements it so well. It gives it nice accent pops, and I just live for it right now. I have been washing off my arms and my hands so I can do some swatching for you. Still have some loves that you guys know are still sticking out to me because I have combined these together, these little nude guys, and no, they're actually not the same, because as you can kind of look and see, some shades are varying and different, and then they play with different colors on your eyes, with your skin tone. I know we've been really reaching for a lot of neutrals lately, but come on. Now I'm just comparing these together. How do they compare? Okay, well, this is all mattes. So we needed to have some more dimension with the coppery metallics and powders and shimmers from this one. First of all, right, only $14. Maybe I'll swatch some things next to each other too to see if they're dupes. Starting here with High Tide, I'm just gonna do some quick swatches for you. I just love that color so much. Oh, wow. I mean, just to give you some perspective here, like, we've got a lot of different variable colors of this teal turquoise shade, and that's one of my favorite shades. As many of you guys know, it's always been an accent shade for me, and the reason I kept going back and forth with this palette was because I'm like, okay, you already have so many things that kind of look similar. Do you need a full palette of that? And that's when I was in my head going back and forth with like, okay, well, you have the Mar palette. Yes, but I don't think any of, like, this one maybe in here a little bit, but they're so different. Now I'm wasting your time, but we're swatching. Swatching's fun. Let's see, this is the Mar palette up here. Oh no, it's way more green toned. I thought it was gonna be kind of like this one, but this one actually has a more blue tone, and this one has a way more green tone to it. See, we needed this. We needed it. I'm sure some of you guys are thinking of what else is on my collection, and you're like, but what about this? Let's check in with Ofra, because we know she has this really pretty, oh, this might be too pale green. Let's see. Yeah, that's different than all of these too. Can you see her? Like, she's even a paler shimmery. So different. This is like so light and like polite. She's like a dainty, soft shade, whereas these are more bold shades. Splash. Let's see. Okay, this one's kind of close to this one, but that might be the only thing. I mean, obviously that's the only thing in here. But then look at all these other shades we get. We needed it. We needed it, right? We don't need to justify it anymore. We needed her. If you need me to write you a letter for your partner, that you need a palette that maybe you have a couple of shades similar-ish, but you don't have all of the color story, you let me know. I will write you a letter, send it to you in a PDF. I'll sign it. It's fine. Get you out of trouble, girl. We needed her. She needs to be in our collection. She definitely adds value, and she's a color story that you know I love. Okay, so now the one that's going to be a harder sell is the Nude Mood, because I love some neutrals, and I've gotten quite a few neutral palettes this year. It's fine. It's fine. I love her. I've been using her nonstop since I got her. I also really love these shades, especially this Put On Airs that is on my lid today, along with the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow, which, by the way, I haven't even gotten to tell you about the Super Shock Shadow that I picked up because I couldn't find her when I looked her up online. She's only part of a duo if you buy her online. This is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow Ultra Glitter in this shade Pledge Class. I've never heard of one that had Ultra Glitter in it, and I guess the only way to buy it online is part of a duo, but if you go into Ulta, you can buy these separately, because I only got this for $6, but it's part of a duo for $12 with another shade called Fine Pearl. I didn't want that, I just wanted this one, but we'll get there in a second. We all know with these nude shades, you may not be able to see everything because they're more for like lay down shades. Like, I don't know if you're going to be able to see buff in here, so I'm just going to kind of move on. Okay, so we've got Nude Mood here. Yes, we're talking some more warm, neutral shades here. I am loving all of these shades. Really, really am. I will swatch, let's see here. We've got the little, I'm going to put the Carnival Candy shades next to these just to see, are they dupes? We won't tell anybody if they are, but then you'll know. This finger, this one, here, and here. So this has a more red tone than this deeper shade down here does, but it's kind of close. And this has a little bit more of like a mustardy yellow base to it, but I could see, I mean, they're neutrals, you know, so they're kind of close, but not quite. So take that for what you will, you know what I mean? You know, we should just look at the main real challenge of, is this a dupe for this? Or do I already have these shades and this? I might, I don't know. I'm just gonna compare the ones that I think might, just for funsies, because this is a makeup video. We're talking some makeup finally. I'm gonna wipe off my fingers in between, so let's do caramel, toffee. Some of these have such pink tones to them, like blushing has this pink tone to her, and cinnamon. Let's see. I know some of you in the audience are like, girl, they're neutral palettes. Of course there's going to be overlap. And you're going to be like, yeah, and we're okay with that. Ooh. So I want to say the shade Toffee here kind of matches this shade up here. Like, you could probably get very similar looks with the matte shades. There's obviously no shimmers in the Dominique Cosmetics, but these are down here. You can see they're similar, but I still wanted her for shimmers, and because she's bite-sized, she's easier to travel with, and I like her. We're never going to say we don't need something because we have something similar, because sometimes we need to compare. And now my friends know, if maybe you didn't get this with Boxycharm, or maybe you don't want to pay for it on your own because this is like a $48 palette, you can come over here to the Nude Mood and get something pretty darn similar, as you can see. Yeah, and really I was doing that work for you, so we don't need to talk about this to Adam. It's fine. Kidding, he really doesn't care. He supports our makeup love here. He knows what we're all about. And then really quickly, I want to tell you about this gorgeous Super Shock Shadow, and it's called an Ultra Glitter. I don't think I knew they had an Ultra Glitter version. Old blue swatch on here, so hopefully you don't see that through this. But this is so pretty. I've been wearing this on my lids up into my crease with the Nude Mood palette since I got this, and I just think it's so pretty. You don't need more than one swatch, but I was just going to do it up a little bit so you could see a little bit more of the flecks in it. She's got some gorgeous glitter flecks, but they're not overwhelmingly chunky or anything. The shade Put On Airs in the Nude Mood palette, which this was next to, so I'm wondering if it's similar into the collection, It's kind of similar to this center shade, but not. I would say this has way more glitter flecks in it, and this is a little bit more of a coppery red tone to it. So they are similar-esque. I do have both of them on my lids today, and I'm not sorry that I mixed and matched because I thought it looked really, really pretty. But this is what a bare swatch looks like. She's really nice, really wet and juicy, and she lasts all day. I've not had any fallout or anything, and I've worn this a few days now. And ColourPop has so many new releases coming out. Have you guys been seeing that they're back to being the company that never sleeps? So I was just supporting my friends at ColourPop because I love their quality of shadows. If you've never tried their shadows, I just think for as inexpensive as these brands are, they're so high quality. I do wish that these had mirrors in them, but they're only 14 bucks, and I've got other mirrors, other things that I can use at my disposal. You know what I mean? Okay, 2 more faves, and then I'm going to get into the 2 fails that kind of go together, and then I'm going to do some shout outs with my friends here. The lip liner of choice that I have been going to over and over is something I did get from Boxycharm this year, and it is the Real Her lip liner in the shade I Am Confident. I love that's in this format where I can layer it. Look how juicy this is. Like, she is really pigmented, goes really well with my lip shade, lasts really well, but I also like a more mechanical pencil where I can just keep like pushing her up. She's a bit of a softer but not too soft formula, so that way I feel like it's not going to be too harsh or rough on my mouth, but also not going all over the place with the lip line, so it's not too creamy. It's that nice combination of firm but not too firm, and the color has been so perfect for me. This is something that I like to use even when I'm just gonna be doing maybe a gloss, because a gloss maybe doesn't have a lot of color to it, or it's gonna thin out as I drink or do whatever. It's been nice to have that bit of color down. It's been one of my favorites this whole month. And the glossy lip oil that I've actually been doing a ton of this month, and I think it's because I've got a bit of that darker color on my skin. So this Merit Beauty tinted lip oil in Au Naturel is $24, but it's also really nice. It's pretty pricey though, but since I have it, I've been wanting to use it more because I wasn't sure how I felt about lip oils, to be honest with you. And this one is so nice. I do feel like the color lasts longer than some of the other lip oils that I have tried. And I don't know if it's because it's a special type of formula or if I'm just becoming more aware of how lip oils work on me personally, but I have definitely found that this is something that juices up the lips, makes the pout look a bit bigger, but it's so comfortable to wear that I could wear it throughout the day and not feel like I get it all over my face either, because as you've seen, I have been drinking water. It does come off on my glass, but it's not getting all over my face. It's not getting all over me. It's a nice formula, and I will have an affiliate link for this below if you're interested. It is kind of pricey though, but the color has also been working great to go along with the I Am Confident Real Her liner that is $12.50. I'm going to have links for that below as well. Now I got to tell you about 2 things that I just can't make myself love, but I will say it could be that it is August. I am oily skinned, so this could maybe work better for me in a month or 2. I'm not decluttering, I'm gonna hang on to this, but I am gonna move it off the top of my vanity, I think, because I'm still in for quite a few hot weeks ahead. And these setting sprays that are so dewy just aren't my jam at the moment. This girl already is gonna be oily or shimmery, even when I'm trying to not be. It's not that these products are bad, it's just not the season for me personally, so I'm going to keep you updated on my thoughts on these in the fall. This is the ABH Dewy Set face spray. Now, the bottle scared the crap out of me, if I can be honest with you, because it is actually like baked into the packaging. It's not actually what's in there, but at first when I saw this, I was like, oh my golly. But she's not bad. She's not terrible. She doesn't wreck my makeup or make me look too oily or dewy. Just isn't the time for me that I would be pulling this out. So for me personally, not because it's a bad formula, but just the way my skin is, this isn't the best time for me for this. So it's kind of a fail at the moment. And this is also nice, but I really need to give this a try when my skin doesn't already glow like Rudolph. This is the Fenty What It Do Makeup Refreshing Spray. Just received this in a Boxy Premium. and it's not my season for it. The setting spray that I just keep using at the moment that I already have on hand is the Tarte Marjakua Miracle Mist. This one feels amazing. The mist is nice, and it helps my makeup last without adding the dew. I already glow like the sun halfway through the day looking like oil. I already have oily skin. I need something that's going to keep my ish together, not make it more illuminating right now. Not that they're bad. I'm not saying they're bad. It's just for my personal preferences at the moment. These are almost, I just don't reach for them at the moment. So stay tuned on these for the future. Now we're to another favorite part of this video for me. I love going through so much of the stuff with you guys already, and these are already really long videos, but I love shouting you guys out every month because you guys are my favorite part of the month. Every month, talking with you guys in the comments, hearing your thoughts and feedback, and just kind of talking to my friends. That's what I love doing these videos for. So I definitely want to shout out 2 friends from this past month, but there's so many of you guys. I always try to get to as many as I can. Simply Bonnie, you are a doll. I love seeing you in my comments. You were just recently on my cup she video where I was showing you guys some dresses and athleisure wear, and you were asking me questions and giving me your thoughts and feedback, and I just love seeing you there, girl. Thank you so much. And Angie D-Lap, thank you for your recommendations. I recently did a new makeup subscription unboxing for you guys on my channel, and she was giving me her advice on different makeup boxes she's heard of, even though she's also a diehard boxy lover too. You know, we got a special place in our heart. But I love hearing recommendations from you guys, you giving me your thoughts and maybe like other things you've heard of out on the market. I love that. That's how we help each other out. So thank you, friend. And you just never know, you may be shouted out in one of my next faves and fails. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you do happen to be new to my loud, weird, crazy, unique channel, hi new friends, I hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on all of these fun, swatched up, a lot of different things coming your way, and more Boxycharm videos coming for you every single month. Bye friends.